Down the whole.
I'm getting close, I think I'm getting close to something I was doing.
And if they need to get a hold of you for anything?
Yeah, just let them know they're gonna ask them.
Yeah, that you, yeah.
Get them in.
Oh, thank you, that was it. Yeah, no
So
problem.
it's-
You never know, see, you get lucky. Yeah, right.
Hey, thanks.
You're welcome.
She doesn't know anymore. I don't know who I am. But, you know, she's happy.
Yeah.
You know, she's just a very contented.
Yeah.
So it's sad, it's really sad, but I'm thinking, you know, she's not worried about anything, she doesn't feel bad. But her daughters take care of her, but every day she has to say, she has to remind her, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Adams. Good, how are you?
It's almost like a nice to meet you.
Hey, Ron.
But she's used to it now, I mean, greetings, sir.
I have a friend.
Hey, Ron. Hi, Scott. How are you? Good. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Yeah, sure, thanks for inviting us.
Nice try. Thank you, yeah, what's the occasion?
I didn't know if you were gonna.
Ah,
Do you wanna-
okay, all right.
For now? Okay, that's fine. So I brought it up, so we just gotta.
You want your phone?
Yeah, I'm fine. Ray asked me, because she said she was.
Never dull.
That's
Is that right? Okay,
I know she's got a lot going on.
yes.
They're nice people, that would be really great. That's the operative word.
She usually goes to my mother-in-law's. I do some-
Your last week was Sue, holy.
How'd it go?
You know.
All right, you're up.
Yes, yeah.
I went fishing places.
I don't know.
There's a particular type of bait that I come on. I said, "Never fish this." I never seen it. History playoffs right there.
We're talking black and white.
Never get to it.
So something that
Morning.
Morning, Commissioner Metzger.
How are you?
I'm doing well, how about you?
Good, thank you. Jason's with us in Penny's this morning, so he won't be on the phone.
Jay David, I'm
I think
not
I
sure
heard
if we,
Mickey on the phone.
Jay David, I'm not sure if we gave you a response yet, but after the meeting, we'll talk to you, all right? As far as the election ballot.
Yes, yeah, excellent.
Okay. Okay. Morning, everyone. I ask you to please rise for the opening prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance. Dear Heavenly Father, our hearts are heavy this morning, filled with grief for those in Texas. Lord, you have told us to rejoice with those that rejoice and weep with those that weep. This morning we weep with those that weep. The loss of a child is likely the greatest tragedy one faces on earth. It is every parent's worst nightmare. These families are crushed and broken. Their eyes have been a fountain of tears since the moment they learned their child was taken. We are heartbroken that someone so full of hate and evil would unleash this madness on a group of innocent children. The beautiful lives of 19 children and 2 adults are gone in a blink of an eye. We pray for the comfort and peace that only you could provide these families and friends. You promise in your word He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. Show a special grace to those in this horrific loss. We pray for those who are survivors who endured this tragedy. They've endured unimaginable trauma that has changed their lives forever. May you help each one of those souls as they process their grief. This week we reflect on those that courageously laid down their lives for freedom. The patriots have led those military spouses and children having to move on in life without them. They paid that price in the name of freedom for each of us. Lord, bless their families and fill their homes and lives with strength and peace. Father, you yourself have taught us that there's no greater love than no one than this, to lay down one's life for their friends. May we always honor their memory. Guide us that we probably care for the wounded comrades. Keep us alert that we may remain diligent and watchful caretakers of the freedoms and liberties they gave their lives. We remember President Ronald Reagan's words, freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. We didn't pass it on to our children in the bloodstream. It must be fought for, protected, and handed on to them to do the same. So, Father, help us to remember that freedom is not free, and for us to be worthy of their sacrifice. Let us always stand for our flag in memory of those that shed their blood. We thank you for the brave men and women who have fought and continue to defend our nation. We pray for our meeting this morning. May our actions be in accordance with your will. These things we humbly ask in your name. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we start our meeting this morning, I just want to share, late yesterday afternoon, I reached out to the Little League president of Uvalde, Texas Little League. And I spoke to the president, Jesus Suarez Jr. And I expressed to him on behalf of our community our love, our condolences, and our prayers. Mr. Suarez is a retired policeman. He was just elected to the school board, and he's been associated with the Little League for 22 years. And he was on the scene to see this horrific evil. And you could hear how heartbroken he was in his voice. They lost, of the 19 kids, seven of the kids of the 19 were in his Little League. I said, is there anything our league or our community can do for your community? They lost 21 members of their community, and I shared another type of tragedy back in 1996 when our community lost 21 members, 16 of those kids. And I said, our communities are very small. They're very similar. Your community will never be the same. But the love of your people will bring that community closer together. And he thanked me over and over for calling. He said that numerous people have reached out to him throughout the day. Steve Keener had called him from Little League International to express their condolences. But he took my name and number and said that he would reach out if there's anything we could do from our communities. But I told him we were here to show him Christ's love, and that we were there with them, and we'll be praying for their community as they heal. So at this time, we'll convene our commissioners meeting. And I'll ask for approval of the minutes of the previous meeting.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Public comment on agenda items only at this time? Hearing none, we'll move on.
All right, 1.6, continue with our nonprofit information series, what they do for you. Lycoming County United Way. Ron?
Thanks, Matt. Good morning, everyone. My name is Ron Frick, and I am privileged to serve as the president of the Lycoming County United Way for the last 5 years. And as a community volunteer since I graduated from college, hard to believe, way back in 1983. I want to thank Commissioners Metzger and Musser and Mirabito for the opportunity to address the board and the community, and for helping us to continue to celebrate our 100 years of service to our communities, not only here in Lycoming County, but since 2013 in Sullivan and Tioga counties as well. We are grateful also for the citation from Lycoming County honoring our anniversary presented by this board on April 14th. So thank you, gentlemen, for that. Our organization supports 38 programs delivered by 19 community partners in 3 counties, who in 2021 served over 70,000 times. Part of a global network of over 1,800 local United Ways in 41 countries, United Way Worldwide was established in Denver, Colorado in 1887. Also part of United Way Pennsylvania, a statewide organization of 52 local United Ways, involved mostly in advocacy work, but also engaged in leading and managing the Pennsylvania 211 network. United Way Worldwide, through its local United Ways, is the largest privately funded nonprofit in the world. And to Commissioner Metzger's point about the tragedy in both Uvalde and several weeks ago in Buffalo, one of the greatest things about the United Way Worldwide Network is our ability to reach out and assist each other with issues like what happened in Uvalde this week. In addition, one of the things that United Way Worldwide has done a great job with is obviously local flooding, hurricane issues, most recently the war in Ukraine. We've established funding. We had a couple of school groups that supported raising money for Ukrainian refugees in that part of the world. So a worldwide network of local United Ways, all operating independently, but working together as a network internationally. The Lycoming County United Way was established as the Williamsport Community Welfare Corporation by the Williamsport Board of Trade, which is now the Williamsport-Lycoming Chamber of Commerce, as I mentioned, on April 14th, 1922, to create a community chest establishing a federation of local charities. The names have changed over the years, and ultimately to the Lycoming County United Way in April 2000 to recognize our outreach efforts in all parts of Lycoming County. The Lycoming County United Way's mission is to mobilize the collective resources of the community to improve lives by collaborating with community partners and community leaders to make lasting changes in the areas of health, education, and financial stability. And we do this by seeking community input, analyzing data and past experiences, strengthening families, and creating lasting change for future generations. I think something that most community leaders are dedicated to doing. We recently completed our community impact grant-making process where 60 community volunteers and reviewed applications, interviewed community partners, and made recommendations regarding grants and the funds that we raised. No other organization in the community can marshal community resources or deploy them in this accountable and transparent way, and we could not do that without the support of the community, both from a fundraising perspective and also from a grant allocation perspective. Our goals are to continue to act as a facilitator for discussions around critical human service needs by developing and fostering partnerships with community partners and leaders like city and county government, community action agencies, community foundations, and local school districts. We recently announced a $1 million investment in the First Community Foundation and a matching $250,000 gift to the United Way to support that long-term goal of working together to benefit the community. We're also working to establish a stronger presence in our smaller counties. As I mentioned, we're relatively new in Tioga and Sullivan County, but our efforts are increasing in both of those two counties, where needs are as great or greater than they are in Lycoming County in some cases. We're continuing our work with other regional United Ways to our south, to our north, east, and west. All of those organizations are part of something called the Susquehanna Regional United Way Group. We don't charge each other fees. We pass along fundraising efforts between organizations to try to regionalize United Ways across this part of the Commonwealth. We intend to complete our strategic plan focusing on emerging and changing community dynamics. We started that process back in 2019, and as most of you know, the world changed significantly over the last few years, and we've taken a pause to make sure that we're addressing current community needs as opposed to things that we think are important even from 3 years ago. So how can you help as a community? Every dollar counts, and workplace campaigns across the county are either down or non-existent as a result of changing donor demographics and the impacts of COVID-19. I know that the county commissioners and community members in the past have worked with us to encourage giving by not only county employees but other employees in workplace campaigns, and we're going to need to continue to encourage that. This year's overall campaign is down about $100,000. Fortunately, we were privileged to have a $49,000 grant from this body last year, or 2 years ago, as part of the COVID-19 CARES Act. We're super grateful for that. That helped in the allocation of funds in last year's grant-making process. Unfortunately, those funds aren't available this year, so we're going to have less to allocate, which is always a challenge. As many of you know, the need in this community continues to increase, especially in the pressure on nonprofit organizations. You can also give on our website via text. We have numerous options to give, and we encourage folks to continue to support us in that way. The other thing you can do is advocate. We all have friends and a circle of influence. Give value to your nonprofit partners in your community. We're part of the economy. We're part of the organization, the fabric of the community. Talk up all of our nonprofits in our community. Talk about the good things the United Way does in the community and what all of those nonprofits do. Sometimes our words of praise are as important as doing the actual work. So advocacy is very important in the work that we do at the United Way. And then last but certainly not least, and very important, is volunteer. Even an hour of your time with one of our partners has value and bolsters the mission of the work that we are all trying to do in our community. Our job is to encourage those kinds of activities. In fact, in a couple of weeks, we have a day of caring coming up with one of our partners where a local business, the accounting firm of Baker Tilly, is employing 7 or 8 employees that are going to come work with us for a full day over at Sojourner Truth Ministries and just do projects for 8 hours. Those kind of things are more effective in these days than trying to put together large community events for obvious reasons. But we're continuing to find ways to work with our partners to help them get projects done as part of our mission to mobilize resources. So it's not just financial. It's also our finding ways to connect people in the community and really make a lasting impact. I'm grateful for the opportunity that the commissioners have provided to us and other nonprofits in the community. I'm proud of the organization that I lead and proud of the community that I live in. That'll become no more evident than my service as a Little League team host with Commissioner Metzger in a few months, as the community comes back to Williamsport to see what we're all about. Happy to answer any questions anybody has, but thank you again.
Thank you, Ron.
So Ron, you mentioned a couple of areas: health, education, financial stability. Maybe you can just give us an idea by type of where the greatest need is and where the greatest resources end up going. Within category. I mean, I don't mean just like health, education, financial, but what are kind of specific needs that the public listening could sort of help identify with if they wanted to give, so that people get a picture of what is happening with the money they give?
Yep, absolutely. So I would say, if we tackle each of those, obviously one of the biggest issues right now in all communities is the issue of mental health. That's no more evident than some of the events that are happening around the world right now. Funding is difficult. We're not going to tackle the entire problem, but we've done some things with organizations like Diacon Family Services, River Valley Health and Dental, and others to try to do small things. For example, last summer we raised about $2,500 specifically for the purchase of tablets for Diacon to be used in school counseling in the school districts that they serve. They serve about 6 school districts now in Lycoming County. And so we just did a 1-month fundraiser to try to bring awareness not only to the issues of mental health, this is Mental Health Awareness Month, but also to try to assist them in getting technology into the hands of students who can't necessarily come to their clinic in Williamsport. So those are the little things I think we can do, and I think the public, can help in those efforts. Also, they're a partner of ours, so they get allocated dollars as part of our grant making process. I would say in the area of financial stability, which kind of crosses over all areas, you're aware of some of the efforts we're working on with local union leadership to try to address what we call the ALICE population. I know that name has been discussed in meetings here at the county. It's folks that are asset limited, income constrained, and employed. It's an acronym that stands for those issues. And we've tried to move away from the definition of working poor, right? Nobody that I know that has 2 jobs that's working hard wants to be called working poor. So we gave it a new name, and we're trying to develop programs around how do we help that population. And so we're working with Pennsylvania 211, United Way of Pennsylvania, local governments to try to figure out ways to attack problems that are, not necessarily for folks below the poverty line, but that next level of folks that are really struggling to, especially with some of the changes in the economy, to try to make ends meet. So, and then in education, one of the greatest areas, and I know I was privileged to be part of the discussion that you all had around early childhood education. It's a huge issue, and I know that some of the dialogue and debate around that issue is continuing, but it's a real challenge for all communities, for folks that are working and folks that aren't working, and we're trying to find ways to partner with organizations, both public and private, to try to find ways to address those needs. Like I'm sure all of you feel, we don't have all the answers. But I think having a continued dialogue around solutions is really where it's going to make a difference, and that means not only elected officials making those decisions, but also working, as I know you all have, with nonprofit community to try to make that happen. So I think a lot of that's going to change as we go through our strategic planning process and start to dig into that a little bit more. If you look at our grant allocation process right now, about 45% of the funds that we allocate are for safety net kinds of services. Some of those organizations, the YWCA, American Rescue Workers, the Food Bank, those kinds of things. And we're never going to meet that need. It's a huge need. And so we're looking at, as many United Ways are across the country, looking at ways to look at prevention types of services. We fund a program, that's at UPMC called Nurse Family Partnership. There's 125 families in that program right now, all from 8 weeks of gestation and pregnancy to 2 years, and those nurses are available 24 hours, 7 days a week. That kind of guidance for young moms is really making a difference as far as outcomes, keeping them out of the judicial system and out of the prison system, and some of the things that you're all dealing with as part of your jobs.
I'm really glad you raised the Nurse Family Partnership, because I think there are a lot of men and women out there who don't know about it. You have to get into it before the baby's born.
Yeah.
You cannot have a child and then go and say, I want to participate in it, because part of what they're trying to do is to emphasize that what happens in the 9 months of pregnancy is critical to what happens in the rest of that child's life.
Correct.
So if you are pregnant or you are thinking of becoming pregnant, and you are in a situation where you don't have a steady income, steady job, you should contact the Nurse Family Partnership. Absolutely, if you are single and you are pregnant and you're planning to have that child, you should absolutely do it. But even couples who are in the ALICE category,
yeah, absolutely,
and these are hardworking people, that asset limited, income constrained, employed. There are people who are working who may be making $9 an hour, and believe me, there are a lot of people in this county still making $9 an hour. So, one of the things you said about the workplace campaigns are down. In the 1950s and 60s, people stayed in the same job for 30 years. It was easy to get a workplace campaign that went year to year to year. There was a culture that developed. So part of what we need to find is new avenues, maybe through social media, other ways to be able to inculcate that. And I think when you hit the nail on the head, 45% of the funds are going to safety net. So for the public listening, that means it's a family with 3 kids, a mother works, her car broke down, she used the money that she had to fix the car, and now she doesn't have the rent. And, you know, or vice, and so.
Can't get to work.
Can't get to work, right. Can't get to work. So, but definitely the Nurse Family Partnership, fantastic program, and has really high positive outcomes. So,
The other phenomenon, you know, that I think people need to be aware of is that all of our partners, you know, I think without exception, have changed the way that they're doing things, right? COVID taught us a lot. Taught us a lot about how to be flexible, taught us a lot about how to be nimble. And a lot of those organizations are now looking at those kinds of issues around prevention. So, you know, for example, the Saving Grace shelter, which is the only emergency shelter within 60 miles of Lycoming County, that organization is looking at when folks come into that shelter right away, they're starting to talk about workforce development. They're talking about computer skills and budgeting and all those kinds of things as part of their case management efforts. But that doesn't happen without money, right? So you can't afford a caseworker to be able to do that kind of thing unless we have the assets and the financial resources to be able to do it. So, you know, while we have really, in the 5 years that I've been at the United Way, really changed our focus away from fundraising, to our detriment, unfortunately, to community impact, we believe eventually folks will start to get the understanding that these are important organizations for the community to help fund, and eventually the fundraising part of it will come back. But you're right. I mean, you know, workplace campaigns in general. I mean, we have our largest workplace campaign is our friends over at Kellogg, and that campaign has dropped probably $50,000 over the last 4 years, mostly because lots of the folks that supported us in that organization are retiring. We're getting them in the residential campaign. We are able to pick some of them up if we know they retire. But in a lot of cases, they're not being replaced by younger donors that aren't able to give at the level that their parents and grandparents were. So we're looking for ways too, with emerging businesses and emerging leadership organizations with younger folks in the community, to encourage them to find ways to give. Some of it's not financial. Some of it's just spending 8 hours at Sojourner Truth helping out, painting and scraping and doing that kind of stuff. So, you know, we're trying to find ways to get people engaged across all 3 of those areas: giving, advocating, and volunteering. So thanks for the question.
Thank you, Ron.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks again. Appreciate it. Thanks for your work.
Thank you for your work and all that you do.
Okay, moving on to 2.0, bid openings. Krista Rogers.
It's Nikki.
Nikki.
Morning, Nikki.
Good morning. So we had 2 bids that are opened today. One was bread products. We got 1 bid from Vivo. And then the food products, we received 3 bids from Kiko, Feasters, and Cisco. And all of those bids are multi-line bids.
Alrighty.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to information items, 3.1, Jason.
Morning, Jason.
Morning, Commissioners. Commissioners, LCRMS will be going out to bid for a partial closure project on Field 11 that wraps around there behind the gas plant and so forth on Field 6. It'll be a 2-year project. We're going to go out to bid. It won't be out now until June 3rd. Due date will be June 24th for the bids. Okay, and this will be funded through closure projects.
Jason, just tell the public how much funds are in the closure funds, if you know, to the extent you know, and where those funds came from, and the cost of something like the closing of Field 11, so they get a picture of what is happening.
So you're looking at for every ton of waste that comes in, we have to set X amount of dollars aside. Of course, that changes and fluctuates with inflation, cost of the liners, and so forth. We have to secure roughly $45 million right now for those closures, so that if at any time the landfill had to close, you have to have those funds to buy the liner system and all that. This project will be a total of 22 acres. We were estimating probably 10, 11 million. I'm sure that's going to go up even more with the price of the petroleum and stuff. So the liner's not going to get any cheaper. But
So that's good news, though, that future generations can know that if we had to close the landfill, they're not going to be stuck with the bill. That's really important.
Yep.
Plus,
Funds set aside.
we forecast the amount required to maintain and do the testing for 30 years.
Afterwards. Yep.
Yep.
And that's post-closure funds, but that's the same count. Thank you.
Thank you, Jason.
Thank
Okay, moving on to reports, accounts payable, Maya.
Morning, Maya.
Good morning. I'm pitching in for Reg, so she had a conflict. Cash requirement report is in the amount of $1,010,951.11.
What was that number again, Maya?
$1,010,951.11.
Okay.
Okay, is there any questions for Maya? Hearing none, got a motion.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor, side?
Aye.
All right,
So
thank
carried,
you.
thank you. We'll recess the Commissioners' meeting at this time for the Community Development Block Grant public hearing, and we'll convene the public hearing at this time. Good morning, Kristen.
Good morning, Commissioners. This is a proposed modification for the CDBG CV funding, and this is on behalf of Montoursville, so the action items don't affect any of the budgeted items for the county. They affect Montoursville's budgeted items. And they are looking to move $13,000 from the American Rescue Workers Rental Mortgage and Utility Assistance, as well as $13,000 from the STEP Supportive Housing Program into an elderly housing hand sanitizing station program, and that would be $6,000 going there, and Indian Park hand washing station for $20,000 going there. So the modified budget for the American Rescue Workers would be $11,304, and for STEP $11,305. So at this time, we could take any public comment on that change.
Is there any online?
No, no, no.
Hearing none, you can close the hearing and reconvene your regular meeting.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. We'll adjourn the public hearing at this time. We'll reconvene the Commissioners' meeting.
Moving on to action items. 6.1 and 6.2. Kristen, should have kept you up there.
Figured it was me, but I didn't want to assume. So
So we're
the,
trying to make sure that you follow where you're.
the first action item, I believe, is the approval of the budget modification as per the previous public hearing.
Okay, do I have a motion?
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
Is there any questions for Kristen? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, so carried.
The second action item is to approve a subrecipient agreement with Muncie Borough. This is for the Muncie Library Removal of Architectural Barriers project. This is just in the amount of $3,109.72 that was left over from another project that came in under budget.
And they plan on putting in the ramp there for the...
Yeah, so there is a lot going on at that facility, and it is mostly done. I believe they've had a punch list walkthrough, and it's in substantial completion. What they did is they have installed a lift that will take patrons from that first floor that you enter into onto the second. They have half floors, so up to the second half floor and down to the lower half floor, which is also where they have technology. They rehabbed a bathroom to make it handicap accessible, and we're redoing some of the entrance area to also make that more handicap accessible.
Okay.
That's good
Very
news.
good news.
Yeah,
You know.
it's excellent to see from my perspective, to see a nice old style library, in the old home, to be able to continue that, the library in that space. I grew up with a library that was in a similar style home, and it's very nostalgic for me to see that facility, and I'm glad that they are able to do that so that they don't need to, relocate the library someplace that is a little bit less convenient for folks that live very close to the heart of Muncie. So it's great to see that that's able to stay there.
And also, when you walk in a place and you're able to walk in and you can walk into the bathroom, you just take it for granted, oh, I can do it. But if you look at those places, you're not going to get there if you're in a wheelchair. You're not going to get there if you're in a walker, so it is good.
And it's also difficult for the staff who want to assist those
Right.
those patrons. But they may need books or other materials that are on those other floors, and they just can't get to them.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Motion?
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye, so carried. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you,
Good day.
Commissioners.
6.3 and 6.4, Maya.
Good morning again. The first item is vote to approve the 2021-2022 P Court grant application to CCAP. Actually, due to the timing of this, I actually submitted and we already got awarded, so, but we discussed that, so that's good.
Talking about this yesterday.
Yeah, so typically we get $20,000, but we were able to get an extra $10,000, so I provided you all with a copy on what we applied for, so,
That's good.
Certainly good news.
yes.
Okay, got a motion.
I'll move to approve.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye, so carried. Thank you, Maya.
Yep. And then the last item I have for you is to approve the following 2022 outside agency requests. They're listed, these are all approved as part of the 2022 budget. So the biggest thing is why I wanted to get these on, Camp Cadet is an urgent need of their funds due to their program starting soon in
It's a
June.
couple weeks.
Yeah. So I'm going to try to get these all out. I might need to talk to you about how to actually get payment.
Yep.
So we'll talk about that.
And the last one being the airport down there, we had talked to the airport. This has to do with their
Tower. That's correct.
Yeah, the tower has to, even though there's not a commercial flight service in there, they have to maintain the tower, and this goes towards that. Last year, they utilized COVID monies, so they returned the monies.
Mhm.
This year, they said if they have extra COVID monies, they'll do the same thing, they'll return the $57,000. So we did inquire on that one, but all the other ones we have looked at, and we'll take a motion.
I have
Yes.
one question. Was the Park project outside agency request or ARP request?
Which one? The Elm Park?
Yeah.
Elm Park, I think, was a
ARP, yeah, yeah. They actually submitted for the legacy funds this last time
Yeah.
too, but they weren't eligible for those, so we put them in ARP.
You know what I think we need to remember? Behind each one of these allocations stand literally hundreds of volunteers who put in work on their own time to make these agencies function, which is part of making the community function, so.
And volunteers are so hard to find in every organization. We were just talking over the weekend about this, and we want to thank everyone for the time they volunteer in whatever agency they're involved in. Because without the volunteers, these agencies don't exist. And they can only be as effective as their volunteers are. And we're blessed in Lycoming County to have a lot of volunteers, but they're dwindling. It's something I believe very strongly in. It was instilled in me by my parents. I think it should be something that's taught in schools. It should be something that is a course. They get credit. It would get the children, it would get the youth involved in their choice of a volunteer agency. And it may kindle an interest that would be a lifelong interest for that youth. And it may even keep them in the community. So something that is vital. And I understand everybody's busy, but we need to take the time to whatever time you have, and I understand everybody's time is so limited, but to try to give back in whatever way, because without giving back, things don't get done.
Tell them the story you told me this morning about the 7-year-old kid and posting flags. I mean, it's quick. But this is.
I'll share that at the end of the commissioner's comments.
Okay.
Oh, speaking of that, I wanted to ask you to talk about volunteers. So one of my goals has been in helping in the school district is seeing if I can find, like you said, have these kids do more volunteer work, do things that can have a better impact. One of those I talked just briefly to Mr. Mom upstairs and said, could we maybe get that volunteer from putting flags on the grave sites? Maybe just have the kids, maybe only a half hour, walk to a grave site during the spring, summer, and do that to help them out. I think for me as a parent, I love that. We participate in every year outside of the school, but I would like to get that in the school so that every kid's participating, doing things, learning and understanding as they're learning about Memorial Day, Veterans Day, all of those things. So I just wanted to see if that was something that you were okay with me approaching and seeing if I can get that, at least that, Montoursville, but if that can be something that they can do in other areas, then great.
It's so important because I'll share it now. Commissioner Massara's reference, I made reference this morning. 4 years, I just had an idea for, I see different civic organizations. I see the Boy Scouts putting out the grave, the flags on the veterans' grave sites. And so I approached the Veterans Administration and I said, can our Little League do it? Absolutely. And so we go to Twin Hills. And there's 19,000 veterans grave sites in our county. Twin Hills has 10% of them. They have 1,900. And so we do that each year for the last 4 years. We started Monday night, and we finished last night. And I shared with Commissioner Massara this morning, one of the little guys, he's 7 or 8 years old, Parker. He was there Monday night, and last night his dad told me that they were late, and Mom didn't get home in time. So Parker's like, come on, Dad, we're going to be late. We have to finish the flags. We have to get there. And so, to see a 7-year-old having the appreciation, it comes from his parents bringing him, instilling that into them, the respect for our veterans, the respect for our country. And I said to him last night, look over the cemetery, look at all the flags. These are all people that fought for our freedoms. We found 4 gentlemen that fought in the Spanish-American War, their sites, and it's the least we can do, the very least we can do for the veterans that gave so much, and their families sacrificed. Those are just small ways you can.
Absolutely.
I mean, that took 3 hours Monday night and 1 hour last night.
Yeah.
To put 1,900 flags out. Just an hour of your time, and we were with the seniors. And even seniors, they have talents.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody has a talent, and if it's just an hour to share that talent with somebody, pick up a phone call, or pick up a phone and make a phone call to brighten somebody's day. And, it's just paying it forward.
Yeah, I just would love to see that in the
Any
school.
way you can volunteer, any way it can.
For my son, he's been doing the past 4 years, it's a different approach. For kids it's exciting, but for him now, he's at such a point where he understands it. He understands the sacrifice. It has a bigger meaning. So, it's like learning history, and, he has such great value and appreciation for all that. And I think, those are things that, personally, I think as a parent, we're getting away from. We're losing. We're losing all that, and I would love to see more of it in the school and seeing if we can get the kids. I mean, at the end of the day, if that's the only place that they're going to get it, I want it to be there. I think it's extremely important that kids, understand the value of certain things, especially our history, and that things don't come free. And I think so many kids think that. I know my littlest. She gets it, but she's also like, oh, well, you don't pay for water, you don't pay for things. And, she's hearing about, the war in Ukraine, and it's like, just like, they don't get it, So I think if we do a better job, and I think if we do it in the school district, I think that's where they're supposed to be taught and educated these things that would go further in a longer way, so.
Well,
Mike up in Veterans, Mike McMum, earlier this week, they put out the other almost 18,000.
I want to thank every one of those
Yeah,
volunteers.
Mike organized and all the volunteers from the groups that he organized. So our thanks to Mike upstairs and Veterans for taking care of that.
A lot of volunteers putting those flags out. We thank them, and all the volunteer agencies and people that give of their time. And so thank you.
Yeah, I like it. It's a fun part of the time of year that we do it, and
often, you can learn skills.
Oh.
Habitat for Humanity, they can learn skills. That will be lifetime skills.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you.
I have a motion.
I'll move to approve the items.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Have a good one, guys.
Yep, you too.
6.5 through 6.7, Jason?
Good morning again, Commissioners.
Morning.
6.5 is RMS is going to solicitate interest with Luzerne County Solid Waste Plan. We want to get named in their solid waste plan. So, as you understand, all counties have to have a solid waste plan. for 10 years of their waste. They have to guarantee that they have facilities to take it, and we want to get named in Luzerne County's solid waste plan. It's just a simple formality. Send the, I think, paper for you to sign through Maya's office, and we'll send it in and submit it, be part of the Luzerne County plan.
Okay.
And that'll be for 10 years. Now, excuse me, 9. Last year is when they got the new plan set, so it'll be for another 9 years.
Okay, motion.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
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 6.6, Commissioners, is the stacker. It's a 2022 Kleeman 80-foot stacker that we purchased in the CoStars. We're trading in an old stacker, 60-foot that we have. The price is $90,985. This is through Groff Tractor and Equipment.
Tell the public what this you use the stacker for.
So a stacker is nothing more than a wheeled conveyor that we have coming off of our either crusher for stone or our screen plants for dirt. So typically for every, I think like a 60-foot screen plant, if you go to another 20 feet, I think to 80 foot, you're almost doubling the size of the pile that you can store under your stacker. So this gives us quite a bit of capacity while our operators are going around loading haul trucks and doing the other stuff.
I want to thank you because I know that you need this, and you were going to have to rent one, and it was
Yes.
going to cost $25,000 to rent it. And I expressed my sheer being upset about doing that when we're going to have to buy one. It's like, so I really appreciate you and the staff looking around, and if you take 25 off the 90, we're paying 65 for the stacker, because we're going to have that stacker a long time. It's a critical piece of equipment, and we don't have to end up, and the problem was the supply chain and everything else, and you guys, it wasn't that you weren't looking for it, you looked high and low, and you couldn't find one, but you kept looking before you pulled the trigger on the rental, so thanks a lot.
Absolutely, sir.
And everyone's 13 years old, so.
Yes, and it's runs off the old, it's actually just got a hydraulic pump that we have on a trailer. It's the old style. This one will have its own diesel engine stationary unit right part of the conveyor. So there's a lot more to it.
All right, we have a motion.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
And this is in the 2022 budgeted item also. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Commissioners, last item, 6.7, is for the purchase of a GPS unit for our Doosan excavator. This is a Topcon Solutions. We have Topcon Solution GPS systems throughout our equipment, so this is why it's for $12,477.33. This is not being purchased through CoStars, but this is a, oh yeah, just slipped me. This is proprietary, and that's why we're buying, because it'll match all the other GPS systems we have. But the Doosan is an excavator that we should have got it on years ago, but we didn't, and we want to get it on now. As a matter of fact, this morning the Doosan was up on the slopes digging out a leachate outbreak that we're repairing. So we use it in places where we really need to have the GPS capabilities for digging trenches and stuff. So, and this isn't, I wouldn't say this isn't really part of the 2022 budgeted item, but we have the funds for it to cover the purchase of this. And it'll help our operators having GPS and stuff in the machine.
How much is this? It's not-
$12,477.33.
So it's actually the GPS unit, the
Yes,
proprietary
it's the
GPS
screen-
unit, it's not the excavator?
No.
Okay.
No. If I could buy an excavator for $12,000,
I know, you'd buy
that
a bunch
size,
of
I'd
them.
buy a dozen of them and sell
Right.
them.
Cheap.
That's why I asked how much
Yeah.
it was.
Okay, motion.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor, say
Aye.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Commissioner comment.
Have anything?
I have
I just got one, and when you're, Ron Frick brings it to the attention, they call it the working poor.
You're talking to Mike, please.
Yeah, but one of the problems that we have is there's a cutoff as far as how much money you can make. Okay, we hear this story time and time and time again where they'll go to seek assistance and they'll say, oh, well, you're $1 over what you can make an hour. And our legislator, even though we write and tell them, this is a serious issue. And so whatever you've got to do to change that threshold, and maybe not so much changing the threshold of what you can make, but how much you want to tier it. So if you're making $1 over, then bring down those funds that they can receive by X percentage. And this way, they will still be wanting to work and receive the much needed funds instead of going out to these organizations. And I mean, thank God we have them. All of these safety net organizations are critical, and maybe there would be less of a burden if our legislators could take a look at this and see if they could change it and come up with a tier system as far as eligible income.
There's a couple on.
Yeah, this weekend, there's a lot of, and on Memorial Day, there's a lot of services throughout the county. And please remember your veterans that have passed on, fought for our country. And there's been numerous of them listed in the paper. On Memorial Day, there's one I like to attend. It's every Memorial Day at 9 a.m. It's a Civil War service up in Wildwood Cemetery. It's a beautiful service. Starts at 9 a.m. and lasts for about an hour. It's very unique, and they do a fantastic job. But there's numerous ones throughout the county. There's one at Wahoo Drive on Saturday, 11 a.m. up at the Memorial Park for the veterans, and we'll be attending that on Saturday morning.
They have an excellent speaker.
That's excellent. So if anyone is able to and willing to attend, please feel free to join us as we honor the veterans and those on Memorial Day.
Actually, I do have a comment. So last night I was privileged on behalf of the commissioners to give Joyce Hirschberger a citation. And for those of you who love animals, which is the overwhelming majority of the American population, Joyce was the president of the SPCA board for 31 years in Lycoming County and involved with the SPCA for 37 years. And really, it was under her direction as president that the board was able to become transformed and acquire a building that we have now. Again, something we sort of take for granted when there's a stray animal in the community, you call the SPCA, they help and so forth. So we just want to extend she's no longer the president, but we want to extend our congratulations to her on behalf of the community too, for that's the volunteer service that you were talking about.
Okay, public comment at this time? Anyone from the audience? Tom? Morning, Tom.
I guess I'll make my comments before I die, I guess. Yeah, we'll do them after. But anyway, it's a shame, it's happening in Texas, and the things that are going on. It's just stuff. I guess we just see what happens when the fear of God is removed from society. It's one of the constant themes, and I think it's so easy to get down about how things are, but so we have to remember to look to God, not the government, to fix things, if it's His will, because He's the only one who can really strengthen us. And but He does allow people in our lives to look towards help strengthen us too. So it's great that we still have like United Way and these organizations that volunteer help, because if people are left alone, that's what makes it worse. And I appreciate these, of course, the public comment section, of course, and the ability to have the chance to connect with people, and because that's a source of strength, and that's the most valuable, actually, thing of any republic like ours, are people. It's not money, it's not resources, natural resources. People is the most valuable asset of any good constitutional republic. And when they're being disparaged and life is making, things are making more difficult for people to thrive, that's a real attack on sovereignty and on freedom, and it's taking us into a real deep, dark age, I think. And it's going to, like I said, I think I mentioned it last week, it's going to be worse than the dark ages that were, the world went through, for I guess about 1,000 years. So, and those kind of things. There's a couple of movies tonight over at the Savoy Plaza, in the room next to Pudgy's. 2,000 Mules and Rigged. It's about the election things. It's pretty eye-opening. No matter what side, if you don't believe in a heavy-handed fraudulent election from 2020, it's pretty eye-opening stuff. And how it was done digitally and through how the information was collected digitally, such as pings off of cell phones, and that's how police do their work, to find perpetrators and use these technologies from the phone companies and be able to track things, and it's pretty interesting. So it could possibly change people's minds about, just saying, it didn't really happen, but and be a little more serious, and just really want to have honest and fair elections. But I appreciated being able to be a poll watcher. It was, like I said, last week, it was pretty interesting, and you see the people that are working, at least in that poll, are working hard and honest, and I think that's the case for most people, but it only takes a couple here and there to really screw things up, and then when you do have a contingency of effort in the bigger metropolitan areas, it can really make things just rotten. And in light of our Memorial Day coming up, you can't express enough how deep in gratitude we all should be, and what these people went through for the founding of the country and forward, and the challenges they faced. Just not enough words to express it. But history's so important, and I know we got to stay on top of keeping history alight with everyone, especially our kids, and confront when people aren't accurate with their accounts. When things aren't, when you hear something being publicly stated or in a conversation, when someone's saying something that isn't true, you need to speak up. You don't have to be mean about it. Just do it out of love for concern for the truth is taught. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Tom. That was some online?
We did. From our Neezer page, please clarify, are we able to get commercial flight in or out of Williamsport? And then this will be a good opportunity to connect with the NAACP and teach that history and bring the community together.
We do not have flights yet at this point, commercial flights, but the airport is working on it, and believe me, it's on the top of the agenda, and it has more to do with trying to get very large multinational airline corporations to service a small rural community, but we are continuing to work on it.
Many factors like shortage of pilots.
Yes.
There's many factors that have been involved in this that have limited it so that we do not have access at this time, but we sure hope in the very near future that it will be. And it is being worked on daily by the airport authority.
I do have to bring this up now that Tom mentioned it. For the poll watchers, okay, we had a couple of them that were very disrespectful, and these are volunteer workers, and there are rules, and you must abide by the rules. No one's out there to cheat anybody, not in a, you know, not to our knowledge. And just be respectful as to what your obligations are and what you're required to do and what they're required to do. Because one almost got confrontational, and that's not the way we want to, you know, have our volunteers be treated.
No,
So
We need them to come back next year.
we need them to come back, for sure.
absolutely.
So, and that's important. And, you know, there is a lot of stress and anxiety out there regarding the voting. We're in the mail-in ballots, and we're seeing some of the issues arise now. Every election, there's something else that arises that's not good. And I understand the reason why we want to repeal Act 77. Okay, but we have to do it in the correct manner if we can. But be respectful to our poll workers.
You know, the commissioners have been meeting a lot around the issue of the forced overtime at the prison because of the fact that we have a shortage of staff and we're trying to hire officers. And I came to the realization on election day, because we had heard from prison employees who said, hey, I come in at 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning and then sometimes have to work continuously without being able to leave. I came to the realization that many of these people would not be able to vote. And they told us that when we were recently, three of us recently were at the PRC and at the prison. They would not have been able to vote without mail-in voting because, and then I realized this wasn't just a situation with them, but it was with our employees who work 12-hour shifts at hospitals, nurses, and so forth. Sometimes they may drive an hour to get there. They work their 12-hour shift. They drive home. And so it's a complicated thing about having mail-in voting because our society has changed from the way it was 40, 50 years ago. But there are a lot of people who will be disenfranchised without the mail-in voting. So I think we need to find a way to keep it intact, but obviously make sure that we eliminate anything that's a cause of concern. So many of us who work jobs where we have flexibility in our job, and three of us included, right? It's harder to understand when you have a family and when you have a situation with an employer where you can't leave. So that's important for us to remember.
Thank you for your comments online and from the audience. And just please remember this weekend, Memorial Day, to honor it. And please pray for the people in Uvalde, Texas, as they mourn these days. Commissioners' meeting is adjourned at this time, and we'll meet next Thursday at 10 a.m. Thank you.
Here we go.
There we go.
Okay.